All right, folks, it's time for our favorite podcast, Cut to the Chase. We're going to cut to the chase right now. What I want you to do is take your pen out, okay, and make a note that you're canceling all your hearings, your meetings, anything you got scheduled for May 16th through the 18th. And instead, you're going to attend the Pilma Summit. And I brought Ken Hardison on, the Millionaire Maker, to explain why you need to do that. How you doing, Ken?
Doing great. Appreciate you having me on.
And thank you for coming on. I know you're getting ready for your big show. And, you know, there's a lot of lawyers out there, especially in my state, Florida, scrambling around. The tort reform, people are going out of business. There's a lot of lawyers that are just like, you know, hey, I went to law school to be a lawyer and study law and know law. And now I'm bombarded with artificial intelligence, chat GPT, Calendly. Do I need to learn this stuff? Yes, the answer is yes. Ken at Pilma, Ken was like a legendary lawyer for 3 decades. Sold 2 law firms, big money, moved out into the world of helping out other lawyers basically succeed. You know, did that basically capture the essence of
Yeah, that's it. That is it in a nutshell. Yeah, I sold 2 firms, going to retire, got bored, and I really like helping other lawyers because I didn't have anybody to help me. I had to do it through trial and error, and it's quite rewarding. Gives me some purpose to get up in the morning.
There you go. Listen, you know, the world is changing, and every time I blink my eyes, something new is happening. And, you know, lawyers, you got to market. I'm sorry to tell you, you know, answering the phone call, it's key. You got to get them in, you got to answer, you got to sign them up. And these days, you know, returning a phone call a day later doesn't work. So first of all, Ken, let's talk about Pilma. What can Pilma do for your average lawyer that's looking to, you know, working their butt off and just not where they want to be?
Yeah, well, I think we can show you some shortcuts, but there is no magic pill. Yeah, I will say that. You know, I don't try to say that we can wave a magic wand, but there's some things you can do. Stuff, I call it low-hanging fruit. You just mentioned 2 or 3 of them. One of them is, you know, you can have the best law firm in the world, but it's just like you can build the best mousetrap in the world, but if people don't know about it, they're not going to buy it. They're not going to come to you. So, you know, like it or not, you're going to have to market yourself. And it doesn't mean that you got to be on TV, but you've got to put yourself out there and you've got to differentiate yourself and you've got to answer that phone and you've got to get those people in as quick as possible and help them. Because if you're spending money on marketing, you're wasting it if you don't. So, but we show them things like Google reviews, LSAs, the local service ads, how to get Google reviews, how to answer bad reviews, how to do even direct mail if they wanted to, how to hold your SEO provider accountable, because that's something we don't, you know, a lot of people don't know how to do. You know, how to market to your past clients and get referrals and bump that up, you know, double, triple, instead of forgetting about them after you give them their check, because they will forget about you. Although most lawyers don't believe me, it's the truth. I've proven it. Just little things like that. You know, when I was practicing law, Greg, I had 32 different things I was doing to market my practice. And some of them cost me nothing, and some of them cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars. But I felt like each one was just as important because they all worked together, integrated. You know, I had books. I was putting books out in doctors' offices. I was doing TV. I was doing radio. I was doing billboards. I was doing internet. I was doing a lot of these referral systems. I was doing a newsletter. You know, I do an advisory client board. I mean, all these different things I was doing. And it all kind of worked together, and I had the same message, is that, you know, we had a message of how we differentiate ourselves. Our tag was, you know, client comes first, you know, you putting you first always, or always putting you first. And then the other deal was we had a 30-day money back guarantee. So that was I thought that was pretty good. When I did that, everybody thought I was crazy. They said, people just hire you, pick your brains, and then go do it themselves. Well, I did it like 7 years before I sold my first practice. And we had 2 people ask for the file back the first 30 days, but our conversions went up 23% because we did the risk reversal. See, people come to a lawyer, they don't know if it's a good fit. A lot of them ain't never been in a wreck before. They don't know what they need out of a PI lawyer. And this gave them a chance to try us out for free. They didn't like the way we acted, didn't like the way we treated them in their case. They couldn't get their file, no fees, no cost. It really was a game changer for me in Raleigh. I mean, it really was. And everybody said I was crazy. Even had some lawyers report me to the bar, said it was unethical because you guarantee, because that's what I did. I did the client. So I'm not guaranteeing them results. I'm guaranteeing them that they can get their file. I said, I'm not guaranteeing anything other than satisfaction. I said, that's not unethical.
Yeah.
But it was a disruptor for sure in our market. And, I think it worked. I mean, but there can be different things. You can have a book. I got some lawyers that are doing, really pushing a lot. Believe it or not, people don't know that you can get a PI lawyer for free. I mean, basically free, no fees up front. So some people are doing that. Some people are doing, this is what we do. This is all we do, that type of thing. Some of them got some books. But anyway, I mean, that's the kind of things we teach. We do it through we got 2 memberships, a gold membership. And then we have masterminds. I actually run 6 different masterminds. We meet 3 times a year, market exclusive. Everybody gets in there. It's about 16, 18 law firms. They share what's working, what's not working, and I facilitate it. That's my joy. I really love getting in there and, round table with these lawyers. And they teach me, to be honest with you, Greg. I'm still learning stuff at almost 70 years old. I'm still learning stuff. They're teaching me, man.
Yeah.
Especially like this AI. Yeah, I mean, this is the big deal, and you're right. I don't know that you got to learn it, but you better have somebody in your damn office that knows it. I mean, I tell you how important it is, Greg. One of my employees that is very smart, I told her, I said, I want you to be my AI person. I'm sending her to a 3-month Cornell University course on AI, on how to use it in your business. And I said, you're going to be our AI person. And I think what you'll see, you won't see it now, but all the big corporations, the big businesses, they're doing it. They're getting probably more than just one. And you'll see the big law firms, the ones that want to take it to the next level, they'll have a dedicated AI person, actually AI prompt engineer, somebody that knows how to ask the questions. Because that's the big problem. I don't know if you play with it, Greg, but that's the big problem, is knowing how to ask the question. And because you can ask it and it'll give you just what you asked for, nothing more.
I'm this close. I'm this close. I've been reading about it, how to use it, what it can do, and hearing lots of reports. CNBC spent the whole day on the discussion of how much AI is going to replace. Is it going to replace us? And they talk.
No, it's not going to replace us. No, here's what's going to happen, in my opinion. And I was talking to somebody this morning. Say you got a demand writer in your law firm. Instead of with the AI, they're going to be able to push out 7 to 10 demands where they were doing one, okay, in the same amount of time.
Yeah.
But they're still going to have to look at it. They're still going to have to fact check it. They're still going to have to, check it out. They might have to use a rephraser on it. But it's going to make them so much more efficient. Content for website. Does that mean that you're not going to have somebody write your no? But it's going to mean that somebody that does content for your website is going to be able to do 5 to 10 times more content than they could before in the same amount of time. Medical chronology is the same things. I see it being used in that. Discovery from defense lawyers, same thing as that. I see it as not replacing anybody, but making it to where you don't need as many people. And isn't that the greatest time for it to happen after COVID when nobody wants to work?
That's crazy. I mean, it's almost like a miracle just happened.
It's like God answered our prayers.
Listen, my buddy's running a sushi restaurant. He can't get anybody to hire to work there or whatever. I said, look at AI. He looked at me like I was a lunatic, but his sushi is very good. All right, but I want to focus on the summit.
Okay.
You got Pilma going on. You are resource central. So lawyers, I mean, if you want to like, I got it, you need to figure out some technology. This is the man, this is the organization to go to, get involved. I love the masterminds because, skeptically speaking, I'm the kind of person that would think, well, gee, why would 15 hotshot lawyers get in a room together and all exchange their secrets and their how-tos? But apparently they do, and it works.
They do. They have to build a trust, and they have to sign a non-disclosure. And I make it from, I won't let nobody in the same market, like even close. I mean, and if they're even touching their market, the other guy that's in there has to say it's okay. I want everybody. Here's the deal: the first time you come to the meeting, you're going to give maybe 50% of what you know. You have to build. It becomes a fraternity, sorority, what do you want to say? But you have to build that trust. But I've got some members that have been in it for 10, 11 years, and they're the most successful ones in the groups, and they're sharing everything because they don't care. They don't care. They know, they don't care if they just get back their competitors, but it really does work. And if anybody violates it, I kick them out. They don't do it but one time. I mean, it's a place where you can go because most people, your family, your wife, your husband, your mate, or whatever, they just don't understand it, and they don't know the stress sometimes you're going through or the problems you're having. And, they might want to help, but they don't know what to do. And this is a good, safe place, and you need to get away from the office every once in a while just to think, I think.
Yeah. And maybe just the act of talking and hearing yourself, I think sometimes is not only therapeutic, but also really helps you figure out what you want to what you need to figure out what you should do.
Yeah.
And, if you can put together a coherent, package verbally, and people, seem to be accepting of it, that's validation you might need to go forward and do your thing, and maybe reach.
And I do a good thing, just like I did with my law practice. I say, go to the first meeting. If you don't like it, I'll give you money back.
Yeah.
So I do the risk because some lawyer thinking, I don't think this is right for me. I mean, it's like I had one lawyer from Seattle. He said, I'm too small for this. Well, he had one lawyer and 2 staff, 60 cases. And that was in 2013, 10 years ago. Today, he has 8 lawyers, 40 staff, and does over 10 million a year in fees.
Yeah.
And probably got over 1,000 cases.
Yeah.
So, I told him, and I tell everybody, I don't care how big these guys are, they had to start somewhere, and most of them started, 98% of them started, very small. I mean, I started with me and another lawyer and 3 staff in 96 and started advertising and grew it to 13 lawyers and 47 staff in 5 years, which is good and bad because I had some tremendous cash flow problems, which I try to help lawyers with now because, it takes time to get the cases to settle, and you still got to pay help and you still got to pay for the ads.
Yeah. And a lot of lawyers don't even know about legal funding and all the things like that. You're a godsend for a lot of lawyers that were just myopic and studying the law and researching and going to court. And then like, hey, why am I not succeeding? I need money. I need help. If I only had a little extra money, I could really bang out this case and get full amount of compensation for my client. And so, I mean, it's out there for the taking, people. You Pilma. That's where, write that name down, research it. All right. So if I don't, let's just say I'm interested in doing Pilma. I don't want to do the mastermind yet. I'm not there. I sort of need to grow a little bit. What's the other what would I get if I joined the other program?
The other program is gold. Is sometimes you have to apply for masterminds, and I say you're not ready. I say go down to this, do gold for a year, see what you do, because there's a lot of things in there. And so in the gold, we have a listserv where you can talk to everybody in the nation, about vendors and this and refer cases and ask questions. We had a question today, what's your 5 favorite KPIs? And so some lawyer, Matt Dubin, that's why I remember his name, he laid out about 10 and they just freely gave it. I mean, I would have done it, but I mean, these guys they're willing to share. We do a monthly magazine. It's about a 30, 40 page magazine. I write an article every month. Then we have other people that are a lot smarter than I am write articles about marketing management. We also do a monthly roundtable just for marketing, like marketing directors, or some lawyers attend, but it's mostly the marketing help, directors, staff. Then we have another roundtable once a month with just management. A lot of the lawyers come, or the CEOs of firms, or the firm administrators, or the office managers. And we got Mickey Love heading that up, and I think she's a genius. Then I do a monthly Q&A with me, and then we do monthly intake training, because what you said to start with, I see, so every time I used to do a lot of consulting. I don't do that much now, but when I did, I knew I could make them money, because I know every lawyer I ever went to, all I had to do was like 5 mystery calls, like I was a client, record it, or a potential client, record it. Nobody would ever get over 2 out of 5 right. You know, they would always get 40% at top, or either 20%. You know, I mean, once in a while I might have somebody get 60%, get 3 out of 5. They're really good firms. Yeah. And so every month we got Chris Mullins, who's called the phone sales doctor. She's been doing this for 20 years, 25 years. She's like me, she's getting old, and she helps people. And she's actually going to be at the summit, but she does trainings and shows them, you know, and talks to them about how to handle calls, and actually plays calls and say, this is what they did right, this is what they did wrong. So a lot of our members, intake staff, go into that. And then we got it archived. Then we got a lot of templates. I got about 30 training videos on different subjects, marketing management, time management, you know, online marketing, offline marketing, how to hire, how to fire, all this stuff that you can kind of go at your own pace. Some of them are as little as 10 minutes, some of them are an hour. Just depends on what I needed. So that's the program. Plus you get a discount to our events. And we have webinars occasionally. We don't really have a set time. You know, if we got something that we think you need to know, then we bring it. We don't just do one, you know. Yeah. So that's, I probably missed something, but that's the main part of it. And it's $397 a month. You can try it again, like I always do everything. Try it for 90 days. If you don't like it, we'll give you money back. Everything I do, Greg, is money back, because I honestly feel like if I'm not giving you value, I don't want your money. I mean, and maybe that's stupid, but I tell people I don't do that. My number one reason of doing what I do is not money. It's the number 2. I'm not gonna lie, I like money. Yeah. Okay. But the number one reason I do this is to help lawyers. And like I said before, when I come down here to Myrtle Beach and was going to retire, I went nuts. And this gives me purpose to get up in the morning and do stuff. And makes me feel like I'm worth something. Gives me self-worth. Yeah. Makes me feel like I'm helping, that I'm doing something that's good. So I get satisfaction. I get fulfillment out of it. So, and listen, I like the money. I'm not going to lie about it. I ain't going to do it for free. I mean, you know, but although my staff says I give away so much, you know, but I said, well, you know, good, you know, whatever. They say I give away way too much. But.
Well, you know, the thing is, you think you're getting old, but you're really not. You're just aging very well, and you might be aging too well, to the point where, you know, you're sticking around a lot longer than you think. And
yeah, you know, the thing is, I want to keep doing this as long as I enjoy it, as long as I look forward. I get up in the morning and look forward to it. I want to keep doing it. Yeah. If it gets to where I get up and dread it, then I'm done. That's one of the reasons I quit practicing law. I got up one morning and I said, I don't know. I don't feel the energy. I don't feel this. I think it's maybe time to move on to something else. But I'm an entrepreneur at heart.
There you go.
I like to build things. I like to build things and help people build things, and then I get bored.
You know, the thing is, what people didn't realize when they went to law school and they got out is that, you know, after 10 years of practicing, nobody's going to hire you. You know, so at that point, you know, you're either a lifer at some firm, or you got to be entrepreneurial and start your own action and get your own business and answer the calls properly. You know, you didn't call me up, but somebody else once did that, and, you know, pretended to be a real client, and, you know, we got like a 2 out of 10 or whatever. And, you know, of course I, you know, ran around crazy, but really the only person I had to blame was myself, because I didn't even really know that you should train your staff on exactly how to answer the phone, and you know, make sure, number one, answer it, you know, be polite and know what your law firm's name is and where your website is and basic things like that. But the one thing that you didn't mention, I just want to touch base on it just quickly before we move on to the summit, is your podcast. You also are a podcaster. Grow your law firm, and you bring on some heavyweights And I know you've been doing a lot on artificial intelligence lately, and there's some great episodes. Tell me your favorite episode. Give me your top three.
Oh, I don't know. It might be. I had Vern Harnish, who wrote Scaling Up, who's one of my mentors. I had him on, and I like it. Might be my best show. Well, from the downloads, it is our best show. It's our most liked show. It's got the most downloads. We've been doing it. We're almost finishing up our third year. I do one every week, and we're gonna have you on ours too. I don't know if they got it set up, but we're gonna get you on it. I gotta get Christian on it. But yeah, I mean, I love asking questions and being trying to figure out, what's new. Because I don't know it all. And I'm very inquisitive. I'm a continual learner. I never think you know it all. So I think a podcast was made for me. Because I'll be honest with you, I'd a lot rather ask the questions than answer them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just because I can follow up and really dig deep. And yeah, a lot of lawyers that join Pilma, that's the reason they've joined Pilma, to be honest with you, Greg. They said, I feel like I know you. I'm pushing lawyers to do podcasts now.
Yeah.
People that just PI lawyers and get their local people, they get their local community people in there, influencers, and pick their brains. And then these people will be pushing it out. And you're just going to get out to where you're everywhere. I just really think that the podcast is powerful. That's another tool in the toolbox. And I like it because I mean, I learn stuff. My listeners learn. I didn't know what I was doing the first 3 or 4, to be honest with you, but probably still don't know what I'm doing, but I'm trying. I've got really good staff now, and they know what to do. They can take what I do and make it look good, even if it's not.
I know, isn't that great? So one of the good things that I love about podcasting is if I don't know something and I want to learn it, I could go to YouTube and watch a video, or I could just bring somebody on and ask pointed questions and really cut to the chase. No pun intended there.
That's what I do sometimes, Greg. I'll go do some research and I say, well, this guy seems to know what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I say, Christian, I can see if this guy or this girl will do a podcast with me. I want to pick his brain. Yeah. I mean, that's the same thing. I mean, that's the way to learn, right?
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. All right, let's go. It's mid-May, May 16th. We're all, the people that are listening here, some of them are like, you know what? Maybe I need to go to this summit. Where is the summit? Well, let's go through the who, what,
okay.
why.
So it's 3 days. It's at the Ritz-Carlton in New Orleans down at Bourbon Street. We got over 27 speakers. We're going to cover things. I've got a couple of really keynotes. I got the guy that was the CEO of 1-800 Got Junk. He now has written several bestsellers. Last one he wrote was Second in Command. He also wrote Vision. I also got Peter Shankman, who is a futurist. As far as marketing, he's always ahead of the curve. And then I've got a lot of just experts. I got some people going to talk about AI in marketing. I got I got 4 or 5 of my masterminds are going to be talking, like Bert Parnell from New Mexico. They're going to be talking about hiring because he has got it down. He's got some of the best culture I've ever seen. He got picked not by the newspaper, but by an outside company, the best place to work in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We got Brian Lebovic, who is doing some outside the box stuff there where you are. Going to talk about some of the marketing stuff he's doing. We've got some guys that are really good on social media. We got a panel on that. We got a panel on intake. I'm going to do my thing on execution because that's where most lawyers, they come up with all these great ideas and they never get anything done. So I'm going to talk about how we've conquered that and give them the blueprint to be able to get stuff done. And then I'm going to talk. My new deal is the 5 trends that are going to, affect you or hurt your law practice in the next 5 years and what to do about it. And of course, one of them is AI. Of course. Yeah. I'll go ahead and give away a secret. One of them is going to be AI, but you can turn that enemy into your friend. If you don't, you're going to get left behind. I can tell you that. And then we just got some people talking about Google local SEO. Even some just general marketing. about alignment, with partners. You got to be aligned. If your firm is not aligned, then if everybody ain't aligned and knows what the vision of the owner is, then how the hell can they make it come true for you? Make it happen. Got a couple of lawyers from Alabama. I'm going to talk about that. So I bring in a lot of lawyers, and I bring in people that are like industry leaders. That think if they got something I think can help, then I want them. You know what I'm saying? We got a guy that's going to be talking about using offshore help. So, different things like that. I mean, and the deal is now, because it's so late, we do have live streaming. And if you live stream it, you can get we'll give you the videos unedited, by the way, because I'm not going to spend the time to edit unedited videos of the whole deal. So I can make one day by live stream, but I can't make the whole deal. We'll send you within a week the whole 3 days. But it's nothing like being there. I'm gonna be honest with you, because there'll be other people you can pick their brains. And after each speaker gets off, they come down, and a lot of times they'll stick around and answer questions. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely not about Ken Hardison. It's definitely like I got 29 speakers, and I think I'm only speaking twice.
Yeah.
But
So, and one person you forgot, or you didn't forget, but you also have Steve Smith from Broughton Partner going to talk about my favorite topic, mass torts, which is all in the news now. Johnson and Johnson and bankruptcy, and how are you going from mass tort to the bankruptcy court and all that. But that should be very exciting.
I forgot because I didn't have my notes in front of me. But there's the other ones I forgot because there's like 27 speakers, so there's no way I knocked off 27 things.
Yeah, no. I'm just, I'm throwing
but Steve is like one of my best friends too, and I do a lot of business with him.
Yeah,
we actually out of my masterminds, we created a group, Greg, and it's you heard of like Investors Club. We got a mass torts club.
Yeah,
and so it's like 12 lawyers, and we put in X amount a month, and then we vote on it. We do research. We bring people to come in and talk to us, and we go buy mass torts, and then we associate and get a referral fee.
You get a kick.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of fun. It keeps me on top of it.
Isn't that good?
And so it's fun. I mean, so I tell people that's going to be my real retirement, because I've got a lot of money invested in it. So but not one thing, because I think when you go too heavy on one thing, it's like playing the stock market.
Exactly.
What is it? You got to diversify. You got to diversify.
Yeah.
So I got about 8 different mass torts I'm invested in now, and not crazy money, but crazy money for me, but not crazy money for probably about 90% of people listening to us.
The ROI can be quite high on a successful mass tort, and it might take a little time, but it's a good way to diversify your practice. And when I come on your podcast, maybe we talk about how lawyers who are not in the mass tort space can participate safely and effectively and in a very potentially lucrative way. So, because I sort of do that, I help out some of my colleagues,
really,
have some money, and they, now in Florida, that they're, no longer going to be,
Well, you gotta know, the deal is, that's a good thing you're doing, because here's the deal. What I found when I first got in it, I didn't know anything. And what I figured out, the 2 big deals is, you got to know which deal to go after, because there's sometimes, there's all look shiny objects, and you ain't got so much money. And then the other thing, you got to pick a lawyer you're going to refer it to that's going to pay you. Because some lawyers don't pay you in the end. I mean, not maybe intentionally, but they don't. I've seen it happen before.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Or they try to renegotiate it at the end and screw you over. Yeah. You want somebody that's solid. You know what I mean? You want somebody that's solid. And so I think what you're doing is very, very smart. And I applaud you for it, because it's needed. Because I have lawyers talk to me about it. See, our club's closed. I mean, we just ain't letting nobody else in. So it's just it is what it is. So, I mean, there's nobody coming in our club. I mean, but the deal is, there's lawyers out there all the time that, hit a big case, and they don't want to pay. Here's the great thing, Greg, and I did this at the end of last year. I had a really good year. I went out and bought like $300,000 or $400,000 worth of Camp Lejeune.
Yeah,
and wrote it off as marketing expense.
exactly.
You see what
Exactly.
I'm saying? That
Yeah.
saved me a couple $100,000 worth of taxes.
Listen,
Now I'm gonna have to pay it sooner or later, but
of course, but you would rather pay it when it's a bigger
later.
pile of money. All right.
And,
And then you're like, fine, okay, here, United States government, here's
and I might be in a different tax bracket by then, I might be
Yeah.
in a lower tax bracket.
Sorry,
But the
you'll
other
be all
deal
right.
is,
You'll be
another
you'll
deal
get
is
the payday.
I think I'll make 4 to 7 times my investment.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to take 4 to 7 years, but that's okay. If I
That's
don't get it, my heirs will get it. I'm fine.
You
I'm
know
fine.
what? I kind of look a little bit like you, and I think our accents, maybe I got to do a little DNA research here or whatever and see
There
what.
you go.
No, I'm kidding you. I'm kidding you. Yeah, no, I mean, I love the Camp Lejeune because they've effectively the government is thrown in the towel.
Yeah.
You don't have to. You're not going to have these big battles, and then have
No, liability's been admitted, and the causation, you still got to prove causation, but it's the weakest causation I've
yeah.
ever seen in any tort in the world. Because it's like almost more likely than I don't know. You probably know a lot more than I do about it, but the big deal is the way the lawyers were explaining to me. It's like, if it's even an inkling of it, probably going to pass. So that's why I thought this is a no brainer. What I'm worried about is people sign up with 2 or 3 lawyers.
Yeah.
Well,
That always. I think that the lawyers, number one, when you say you got to get a lawyer that's going to pay you, well, also you want to have a lawyer that's in leadership, the ones that are trying the cases, the ones that are settling the cases.
Yeah.
The other ones in the old days, everybody got the same, basic distribution, but now the defendants, the bad boys are, playing us against each other. And some people are getting left, holding the bag and they don't even know what to do. And they're, calling up Levin Papantonio, hey, I got 20,000 cases, I need it. And they're like, we can't do it, And so you're like, wow, I mean, you got 10 lawyers, but 20,000 cases, I don't know where you're going with that. So, it's very exciting. Everything is so exciting. I mean, when you're at mass torts, the artificial intelligence, chat GPT, it's just mind-boggling. And that's why you got to join something like Pilma. And I got to tell you, the last thing about the conference and the summit, now it's summits. Before it used to be conferences. I used to go to these conferences to get CLE, and I got so disgusted because these conferences, you would sit there, and maybe there's people in the audience that have the same experience. You would sit there, and the first 20 minutes the discussion would be about how great the speaker is. I don't care how many trials and how many, $1 million verdicts you got or whatever. Just tell me why I came here. Give me the information. And nowadays, these summits and the conferences are doing that. And it's a much better. I mean, I just came back from Mass Torts Made Perfect, and I saw you there, but you're so busy. I was going to introduce myself. And, you had like a swarm, like 20 people deep trying to get word in with you. But I knew I was going to get you here. So
good deal.
I think we covered it. Is there anything else you want to talk about with the summit?
No, not really. I mean, I do have, like everything else, if you go to the first day and you don't like it, you get your money back.
All right, quickly, give me the 5 things in the legal world that keep Ken Hardison up at night. Are there 5 things?
Maybe not 5. I'd say the number one thing that maybe don't keep me up because I'm not practicing law, but keeps my members up is not being able to find lawyers and staff that are competent and willing to work. Number 2 is the second part of the labor force. The ones that do want to work want too much money, and they want to go to 4-day work weeks, or they want to go remote. Third thing is AI. Fourth thing is that although there'll always be car wrecks, the cars are getting safer and safer, and lawyers have got to start thinking about diversification, which mass torts is one of them, Greg.
Yeah.
It's funny. I remember 15, 20 years ago, the mass tort lawyer, when preemption came in, everybody was saying, oh, we got to go to single car accidents. And now it's reversed, and now we got a lot of single car accident lawyers going into mass tort.
Yeah.
So it's funny how things go full circle, But I'd say that's the thing that worries some of our members more than others. But really, the big deal is, and then the other thing that worries them is everybody in the PI industry it's so saturated in some markets. I mean, it's crazy the money some law firms are spending. And then, they're worried about, believe it or not, John Morgan. I tell them, don't worry. I said, listen, John Morgan's gonna get his share of it. I know John will, and I like him fine. He taught me a lot of stuff back in the 90s. I went down there and ghosted him for like 3 or 4 days just to see, followed him, shadowed. I didn't say ghost, but they shadowed him. And he taught me a lot. But there's going to be business for everybody. And the big deal, look at what happened when Walmart came out. Everybody thought it was the end of mom and pop stores. And it was for the weak ones.
Yeah.
For the people that knew what to do and stood out and gave them something that Walmart couldn't give them, because I don't ever want to compete on price. And that's what Walmart does. They compete on price. And that's what Kmart did. And it almost went bankrupt, so sooner or later, you got to have something else other than price. So it's like the money back guarantee, or it's like the no fee unless we win. It's the have a client advocate hotline. Have a client bill of rights. Have it where you text to them, give them access to the files. Whatever it is, do something that stands you out from the big Walmart, the big John Morgans of the world. Yeah. Because they're going to get their share, okay?
Yeah.
And I think it actually can help. It can bring awareness of what's out there, that, hey, maybe I do need a lawyer. And then they start looking up lawyers, but maybe they want a local one, not one from out of town. So I think it's just, I think you can take stuff and instead of looking at it as something bad, turn it into something good. Take lemon and turn it into lemonade instead of just sucking them and going sour.
All right. Well, listen, that's going to do it for this episode of Cut to the Chase. And I'm going to just say it one more time. We're going to cut to the chase. You cancel all your appointments May 16th through the 18th. You can either go to New Orleans, listen to everybody, meet people, okay, make connections, advance your skills. If you can't get there, you can sign up virtually and see it that way. All right. So that'll do it for this episode. I'm going to have all the show notes, include all the stuff from Pilma and the summit. So if you are like, hey, where do I find that? You're going to be able to find that right here. Ken, thank you very much for coming on, and we'll talk soon. All right.
Yeah. Has Christiane got up with anybody?
Yeah. I got it. It's in my email. I got to do it. You want a lot of information.
Okay. I just want to make sure. Well, they do. I don't have nothing to do with it. I just tell them I do this one, do that one, and then I show up.
They want a headshot. That's what's holding up. That's what's holding up my sending that out to you, whatever. I got to get a good one,
Oh, just
I'm a good looking guy, and that's how I separate myself.
Just do a selfie. That's all you need.
I know. I hear you. All right. Be well, Ken. Speak to you soon.
Take care.